MP. They're not going to have a lot of castings of any of these spells, but we'll see what they start with.
Yeah. Although there is the possibility we could have what we had the other night, I believe it was last night, where the throne room had all 3 magic keys to start.
Alright, so we're off and running. Let's see what we have.
Oh good, the text is moving much slower this time. For those who missed it earlier, I called the speed hacks and fast text, and that was a lot to read, and we've got the Stones of Sunlight to start here. That's one of the key items needed. Also the Fighter's Ring, which will add 2 attack power to our players' totals once they equip it. And given how low the attack power is, every little bit's certainly going to help. So now they both head outside, and they both don the Fighter's Ring almost in stereo. As sylverfyre to be outside, and they're making their way to the west and north and see a cave, but first a ghost.
And we saw...
a wolf taking out Kaiten before he even gets a chance to think about it.
And off to the west, we did see a town.
And sylverfyre taking out that ghost.
Wait a minute.
Well, sylverfyre finding the cave off to the north and west, and it looks as though it is the Rainbow Drop Cave, which is where our runners are going to be looking toward the end to trade all their items. Meanwhile, to the north and east, there was a town, but it's Hawk's Nest, the abandoned town that is riddled full of enemies.
Now that'll be real nice later, especially if that the trap tile gives you like an axe knight with Hurtmore or something along those lines. Something really nice to grind on. You know, having the castle right by Hawk's Nest is really ideal because you get the free magic heal in the castle of Tan.
Oof, well, sylverfyre was in what looked to be Swamp Cave South, just to the northeast of the castle, but running into a wizard, and they're going to head back to Tantagel Castle.
sylverfyre did happen to reach level 2, a modest level. 1 strength, it looked like, for sylverfyre, as well as, looks like a bunch of MP really was the key thing there in level.
As Kaiten's still looking for the first enemy to be taken out, and it is the slime, but still 4 more experience to get to level 2. Ooh, and sylverfyre finding out the hard way that Magidrakes have that baby dragon breath that generally do about 20 hit points of damage, and if you're maxed at 19, that will not do.
So it looks like we are kind of swamp blocked here to the south, certainly, so I think we're going to have a little bit of an early grind coming up here for both of our runners soon.
But not with an Axe Knight, as an Axe Knight chops Kaiten down to size. Meanwhile, sylverfyre working on a Magician and just chipping 1 or 2 hit points at a time.
Yeah, but Magicians give pretty good experience for an early grind, so that's... You know, you're really looking for Magicians and Ghosts and Drakes early.
Yep, and if sylverfyre is able to take it out, which they have, now that doubles their total from 8 experience to 16, just 1 away from level 3.
sylverfyre does get the bad news that this is indeed Hawk's Nest, but I think they're going to try to make their way over to the trap tile just to see what boss is there. Let's see if they can make it there.
The 9 MP gained on Kaiten's side, and sylverfyre close, but not able to get away from the Spectre, and just 4 tiles shy. Was not going to make it, although I don't think that they had enough hit points with those 2 swamp tiles, where each step takes away 2 hit points, to be able to make it over to have anything left to see what that guardian monster was.
This ghost here on Silverfire's side should give Silverfyre the requisite experience to go up to level 3. Let's see what we get here. Well, not a terrible level, but they still don't have magic at level 3. This is interesting.
Those weren't great numbers, 4, 0, 2, and 6, so a lot more magic points, but nothing to use them on.
The Marine, thank you very much for that raid. We appreciate it muchly.
And Kaiten now chipping away at a Magician. Should he finish it off here, that will get him up to level 3. And does.
Alright, so I think given how we're kind of blocked by Swamp 2 or 3 different ways, I think we're going to find both of our runners going to be grinding a little bit to try to get some HP and maybe a heal spell to get through this Swamp.
So now it looks like it's just a matter of who can be more efficient in their enemy destruction here.
So I think, Baron, this is probably a good time to introduce our runners.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I can certainly assist with that here. So, kaiten619, well, he finished in the top 4 in the Magic the Gathering multiplayer Commander Take the Crown Season 1 finale. His experience in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, well, it's fairly new, as he entered the Chaos Tournament that was held in February of this year, and wasn't able to get past the Swiss rounds of that. Is hoping for a little bit better now. His philosophy in Randomizer: approach it as a new game and adapt on the fly as much as possible. Kaiten unranked in Speedruns Live. Meanwhile, Silverfyre, we've got a level here on Silverfire's side. 12, 6, 5, and 4. Very good numbers, especially that power there. But they're a member of the RPG Valkyries team, and we'll get a little bit more into that coming up here as I get a chance to get things going here a little bit.
The still annoying. Oh, other than the fun police making an appearance on Silverfire's side, the other annoying thing is we still have no spells in level 4.
The stop spell, it was being spammed, it finally worked, and Silverfyre not able to get away, and they head back to the castle.
So that could make, later on in the game, that could make Red Dragons a really nice grind enemy, especially if it's 75% stop spell. So what that'll do is, because Erdrick's armor eventually will resist stop spell, it could be that the Red Dragons just keep spamming stop spell over and over and over again, making the Red Dragons a really nice grind target.
And now up to level 4 goes Kaiten, about a minute and 20 behind Silverfyre. And there's the fun police once again, and trying to get away unsuccessfully as Silverfyre. And the Red Dragon's known as the fun police because whenever they show up, the fun tends to stop.
Now we're gonna get side-by-side restarts, and let's see what... So, have we just figured out what cave that is on Silverfire's side yet?
Based on the way Silverfyre was moving, I believe that it is Swamp Cave South. But every time we go to try to find out, a red dragon shows up, and that continues our curiosity.
Oh, I was going to say Metal Slime on Kaiten's side, but Metal Slime runs away. Now, that Metal Slime would be a really nice get early.
Yeah, the Metal Slimes only have 3 hit points, but they have max agility, 255, so it's pretty much a coin flip as to whether you do 1 damage or whether you miss every time around. So that means very difficult to get a hit on it, and it tends to run away a lot.
So Silverfyre gets through the swamp only to be greeted by a golem.
Kaiten, meanwhile, being greeted by a metal slime. Let's see if this one sticks around or if it's going to run away. So far, misses. Back and forth.
Ooh, excellent move.
Oh, wow. So that is going to take out the metal slime and give a huge lead here, as that's going to advance 2 levels in one go.
Ooh, Kaiten, you've got to check your spells. If you advance 2 levels, it doesn't always tell you if you get a magic spell.
Well, death warping back. Semi-unintentionally, I suppose. As just like that, Kaiten jumping up to level 6 thanks to the metal slime kill just at the 10.5 minute mark. And Sylverfyre out of resources trying to cross the swamp, so back to the castle they go.
Now, it looks here that at level 6, of having 47 strength is actually pretty nice. So Kaiten's strength is right on par with where he needs to be, so he should be able to take care of some of these quote-unquote weaker enemies pretty easily at this point, and now he can do a little bit of exploration. So let's see if we have anything to this.
Another excellent move, this time on the blue slime. And we have a wizard, and that's a little ambitious there, trying to attack the wizard, and wizard shows its strength and sends Kaiten back.
So Silverfyre finding fairy water in whatever cave he's in. I'm wondering if this is the mountain cave.
That might very well be, yeah, given... I thought initially, given the motion, that it might be Swamp Cave South, but no, it looks like that perhaps could very well be the mountain cave. So for now, I'll mark the fairy water, and if we see a set of stairs, then we know otherwise here. And Silverfyre going after and defeating the metal slime. So now Silverfyre's going to get a couple of levels.
And still no spells for either one of our runners at level 6. This is insane.
Wow.
Oh, another metal slime down on Kaiten's side.
Well, who'd have thunk it, but this time around, well, that will get to level 7. 22 power! Finally have a spell, 2 spells, stop spell and return.
Neither one of those being really useful at this point in time.
And getting slept and wrecked is Kaiten, but still 2 metal slimes down, and that, over the span of about 3 minutes, vaults him from level 4 up to level 7. And Kaiten opting to save there, and already at level 7 strength. Very beefy.
Yeah, having 71 attack power at level 7 is really nice, but what's even nicer is the raw 69 strength. I mean, really you're 21 raw strength away from being set to go take on the Dragon Lord. And you've got 10-ish levels to get there. That's really nice. So hopefully this means strength isn't going to be a problem for, well, either one of our runners, because they're both on strength build.
Well, and based on the movements of Silverfyre navigating the mountain cave in the dark, and so far there's a fairy water, a couple of gold chests, and the silver harp, one of the key items needed in the game.
Oh, I missed that on Silverfire's side. Good catch. It looks like Silverfyre is indeed approaching the last chest here. See if he can get past this wizard.
And they do, but no spells, but is able to get a torch. So now you can see your way out, or possibly Death Warp out. I'm betting on the latter.
The unfortunate thing is that there is no magic key down here, so they can't set up a possibility of a gold grind in the treasury. But later on, once they get keys, that could be a really nice gold grind setup right there.
Especially given that it's close by, and ooh, Star Wyverns with the Dragon Lord breath.
Yep, that's going to be Cadillac. Okay, another level for Kaiten here. Oh, still no spells. This is getting a little ridiculous that there's no heal, no hurt, no nothing, except for stop spell and return. Yay.
Which Silverfyre hasn't even seen, as that won't be acquired until level 7, although they're 11 experience away from getting those 2 spells, although return not really needed, as, well, they've had plenty of opportunities to return to the castle thanks to a lot of powerful, potent enemies, like the wizard sending Kaiten back now.
Silverfyre trying to make their way through the swamp and doesn't quite make it.
This does seem to be a rather large swamp seed.
I see with the 40 HP, either one of our runners can only go through 20 swamp tiles before they're, before they unfortunately expire. So this isn't going to do too well. At least Kaiten establishes there's nothing north in the northern swamp.
Well, Silverfyre getting another crack at a metal slime, and has a couple of hits on it, and it's still sticking around. And they get the 3rd hit. No, it runs away. Metal slime picking out at 2.
Silverfyre will be really nice to see that growth at level 7 once they get there. Now, Silverfyre entering the area that we know to contain some really powerful enemies. We've seen red dragons down there and blue dragons down there, so let's see if Sil can avoid the...
Proverbial gauntlet.
Yeah, right, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Nice Drakima kill.
And that's going to get Silverfyre up to level 7. Double-digit gains. For just about everything.
And a Wraith Knight sending Silverfyre back to start.
And with this many early deaths, this almost does feel like a Chaos Seed.
Yeah, it really does. Right off the bat here, the only difference is a lot of times with Chaos, seeds, even with the early deaths, you get some stats. The only stat they seem to be getting in excess here is their strength.
Kaiten trying to take a page from Ness Cardinality's book with the RNG manipulation, but not quite able to get away from the Wraith Knight.
Command. Command. Command.
Thou art dead. And so too is Silverfyre and a reset?
I think Silverfyre is trying to retain what gold they can from the gold that they got from the chest in Mountain Cave.
Which means the reset forces Silverfyre back to level 6.
Indeed. And now back to level 7. Keeping our tracker on his toes here. Silverfyre again doing battle with a metal slime, and again gets a hit, but the metal slime runs away.
Always such a tease. Who would have thought that counting to 3 would be so stress-inducing?
Any Z1 randomizer runner can tell you that.
Well, usually in that case, isn't it counting to 10 with the 10th enemy having the bomb?
Right, but if you get to 3, it's an accomplishment. At least if you play the game like I do.
Fair enough. I have seen a couple of those Zelda 1 randomizer seeds that you've done, and yes, they are both stress-inducing and profanity-inducing.
Me? Profane? Why, never.
Internally, of course.
Of course, internally, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't count if you say it in your head.
So Silverfyre has gotten through the swamp to go to the bridge to an island that has, well, nothing.
Well, it seems to be Metal Slime Island over here. There's certainly a lot of them. And once again, kicking out at 2 is the Metal Slime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these Metal Slimes are delighting in teasing Silverfyre.
And then the blue slimes are there just to get Silverfyre's hopes up. No, the blue slime.
And then Silverfyre gets a fair amount way down, south and east, and runs into another swamp.
Apparently we run into the Alefgard Everglades in this seed.
Well, kiting getting east of Hawksnest. Is there anything east of Hawksnest? I'm not sure we've seen this over here. Death. There is death east of Hawksnest.
And Silverfyre, once again, getting up to level 7. This is now 3 times in 5 minutes that Silverfyre has gone from level 6 to level 7. And that's probably one of the rare times that you'll hear me say something along those lines.
And there is nothing east of Hawksnest. So we are definitely swamp blocked here. You gotta get through a bunch of swamp to go any direction in this seed that may be helpful, be it north and west or south and east.
And the Droll Magi creating the death, and is Silverfyre going to reset again? No, opting to save at this point.
Alright, so Kaiten's gotten through the next bunch of swamp. Let's see if there's a town or anything nearby. Maybe.
The Star Wyverns seem to find ways of saying, you're not going to find out now.
There's nothing down here? They have to go northwest through the swamp, it looks like. Oh, and that's the bigger swamp. That's brutal.
Silverfyre realizing that they don't have enough hit points to cross that swamp. So if you're Silverfyre at this point, you're thinking, alright, I need to grind on some enemies ASAP.
And I think
exactly what they're doing.
Yep, I think Kaiten has to do that too at this point.
Yeah, the advantage is slight, but only slight.
The advantage is basically the one metal slime Kaiten killed that Silverfyre hasn't yet. So what they need, each of them needs another, metal slime kill or two. That'd be ideal.
Yeah, just get a couple of excellent moves. No big deal.
But of course, you know the way metal slimes work. When you want them to show up, they never do.
But the difference here is that Silverfyre has had a lot of resets, and Kaiten has just been plugging along and not worrying so much about holding on to that gold. And Kaiten has already jumped out to about a 400 experience lead.
Ooh, skeletons have hurt more. That hurts.
It hurts more than most.
So Kaiten does get to the boss spot in Hawksness and finds a golem there.
Oof.
So, in theory, that's not going to be too bad, unless, of course, it's the Trollum, which has the fairy flute underneath him.
Which would be hysterical to have the item that negates the golem and puts it to sleep being guarded by the golem. Which would make sense, because golem doesn't want anybody to have that. He knows that it puts it to sleep.
Kaiten trying to take on a Spectre. That would be some really nice experience if Kaiten can get it.
And does. 47 experience at this point. That is an ideal enemy to try to farm after, but the Armored Knight not so much, and Kaiten able to get away?
Interesting. Kaiten, what are you doing here? You know it's a golem. You can't kill a golem even with an excellent hit right now.
Well, one thing that Kaiten is noted for, at least from what I remember from the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament earlier this year, is his persistence. If he believes that something will work, he will go after it, and go after it, and go after it, with unwavering dedication.
Speaking of unwavering dedication, Silverfyre has gotten quite a few skeletons with Hurtmore lately.
They have definitely been the bane of the existence of the seed, as Kaiten now getting away from the Wyvern. Was perhaps looking for another one of those Spectres, which at this point, I believe a Spectre would be very close to, if not putting Kaiten over the top to get to level 9.
Kaiten going to refill his HP, or his MP, which of course doesn't do him a whole heck of a lot of good at this point.
My best guess is, since Kaiten's experience is minimal in terms of having played the game, that perhaps Kaiten thought there was a replenishment of both HP and MP?
That's gotta be it, I would think.
Almost working in a sense like the tent in a Final Fantasy randomizer, which could very well be the case here.
Eternal Newbie asks, is Silverfyre Sprite the DW3 Sage? It's either the DW3 Sage, but I think it's the Princess of Moonbrook from DW2. could be the stage, but I'm pretty sure it's the Princess of Moonbrook, I think.
Yeah, a lot of sprites to have to get familiar with, as that is one of the newest features of the most recently released version of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, is a whole litany of different sprites that you can play as.
Basically, all sprites from Dragon Warrior 2 and 4, and a handful of sprites from Dragon Warrior 3. Most notably the Goof-Off, and I want to say a fighter?
Well, I fortunately happen to have it right here, so you can play as, just to give a few examples here, you can play as Loto, obviously, you can play as Princess Gwaelin, play as Link, as well as Mario or Luigi, but also recently added, you have the 3 Dragon Warrior 2 characters, the Prince of Cannock, Prince of Middenhall, and the Princess of Moonbrook. For Dragon Warrior 3, there's a lot. There's the male and female fighter, the male and female goof-off, the Dragon Warrior 3 hero, the female and male merchant, the female and male pilgrim, female and male sage, both genders of soldier and wizard as well. And then for Dragon Warrior 4, a whole litany of characters as well, including, going alphabetically here, Alina, Bray, Celia, Christo, Healy, the heroine or hero, Mara, Nara, Ragnar, and Tulum, plus some Final Fantasy characters as well, a whole host of them. So now, Sylverfyre up to level 8.
First, level 8 isn't going to do much as far as progression goes. Oh, Kaiten did get to level 9. HP gain is minimal at level 9.
But still, just in the exploration and everything else, taking probably all of about 15 minutes to get from level 8 to level 9. The last 300 plus experience have been rather cumbersome. And we have an update from over on our sister station, the main Randomania channel, as Ness Cardinality has won his race against Tilo Tilo, finishing with an SRL time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 39 seconds.
Congratulations to Nescard.
Yeah, Ness Cardinality, one of the, I wouldn't say arguably, but definitely one of the high considered favorites in the tournament to advance very far, as he has done the past couple of years. Coming very close, but just getting outside the top 2, as those have been pretty much captured and then some by Game Boy F9 and Mr. Holmes. But this tournament has already shown that just about anything can happen, as Game Boy was upset not too long ago against Tyrannex. Actually, I believe that was last night that race had occurred. So, with 4 Swiss races, or 4 Swiss rounds still to go, anything can certainly happen, but definitely goes to show that upsets can occur just about anywhere.
Fuchsia Fantasy asking in chat, why is Silver killing themselves in the swamp? Well, Silver started their trek to the swamp with what they were hoping for was enough HP to get through the swamp. They got an encounter, the Spectre attacked them, worked down the HP, and Sylverfyre really had no other option but to basically death warp back to Tantagel at that point.
Yeah, once you're in the middle of the swamp and have fewer hit points to either advance forward or go back, you're pretty much at a point of no return where really the only option is death.
I mean, they both have the return spell, but given that neither one of them have healing capabilities, return is pretty well useless at this point.
Now, Silverfyre trying again with the metal slime, and it runs away, and then another one appearing and running away. Metal slimes for days here.
I'm pretty sure Silverfyre is just hearing neener, neener, neener from these metal slimes all day.
Where's Captain Uhu when we need him? Some sort of combination of the metal slime with the Lingwar tongue from Dragon Warrior 4?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Exactly.
Well, this metal slime's hanging around, and Silverfyre is able to take it down. But just shy of the experience to get to level 9. Needing another 41 experience.
And if that were me, I'd be dancing all over that metal slime's dead body.
Now the Axe Knight making it a little bit difficult here, and well, Magidrake is running away. Ooh, and the Axe Knight sending Kaiten back. And it looks like Tilo finished up his race against Nest Cardinality, finishing about 13.5 minutes behind the official time, 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 3 seconds. GG to both, both very fantastic runners, and looking forward to more great things as the tournament goes on here among the Randomania networks.
I would imagine shortly they're going to be making, the viewers from RM1 are going to be making their way over here to RM2, where we get to update them on all that's happened in this race, which is pretty, well, nothing.
Well, I mean, both of our runners got 2 metal slime kills. That's a something. We can tell them about all the swamp.
Oh, Silver gets through.
Oh, and gets with 1 hit point left and gets ambushed by a poltergeist that attacks for 1.
And for those of you that have just joined us, that swamp that Silverfyre just made it through is the only path to get to anything that may possibly be useful. Everything else in every other direction around Tantagil is nothing. Except for that town right there that Kaiten found, which is Hawksnest. Which is, no, that ain't happening.
Oh, 0 hit points on level 9 gain for Silverfyre. Go with no strength. Wow. So 0404 for level 9. Empty Eye has to be ecstatic. 0 strength and 0 HP.
I love it!
So now Silverfyre making it through again. And this time getting a gold man. Is able to run away. So 1 hit point left here with bated breath. Silverfyre exploring very treacherously, very carefully, trying to avoid encounters as quickly as possible and as often as possible, but not able to get away from the wizard.
They're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of death.
And back now down the red brick road will Silverfyre go in a matter of moments here, and to answer Future Sight 23's question in chat, which is pretty much rhetorical, no, this isn't a jet seed. At this point, it's even a paper airplane seed.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a paper airplane seed, because how many times have you thrown a paper airplane that comes back and sticks you in the eye? Because that's what this is doing.
Oh, that is a fair point. Yes, it's done loop-de-loops. It's kind of gone in circles. It's gone everywhere but forward, and I guess that is an apropos comparison for the way this seed has gone in the first 40 minutes.
Thou art asleep.
And thou art dead.
And Future Sight 23 commenting that every monster at this point might as well be Kraken too. Well, given their extraordinarily low HP for level 9, you ain't wrong. You're really not wrong.
And I like ETAP's comparison as well. This seed is like those clips that used to be on America's Funniest Home Videos where they try to throw the styrofoam airplane that just loops around and hits them in the back of the head.
You can also make the comparison to Hans Moleman's feature film in The Simpsons. Man getting hit by football.
Ah, yes. It's been a while since I'm not as up on my Simpsons as I should be. Although, I mean, I was about to make the question with America's Funniest Home Videos, all that's missing is Bob Saget.
Where's Skybills when you need her?
Good on you for picking up what I was putting down on that one there, Z-Man. So, Kaiten getting up to level 10. We've got 7 power, 10 response speed, 8 hit points, 12 magic points, and a spell of Repel.
Well, at least with like that 8 more HP, there you get some survivability past the big swamp.
But still, only 49 hit points, 10. And that is with the strength HP build for Kaiten. So, one Silverfyre. The counterbalance to that is Metal Gear Flex notes in chat. Just imagine if we could find a town that has, some weapons.
Alright, so we still have Silverfyre wandering around. They are both kind of just exploring and trying to get kills at this point. Just to give you anybody that might be new here, just a little bit of a quote-unquote recap of this seed. We found 3 things in this seed. Kaiten Castle, the Mountain Cave, and Hawk's Nest. The Mountain Cave Silverfyre did actually explore in the dark, found the Stones of Sunlight, Fairy Water, Gold, and a torch. So nothing useful, not even an herb could be useful. But beyond that, really what the... Oh, Eligibrap, our wonderful tracker Eligibrap does correct me, and that the Stones of Sunlight were in Kaiten Castle, so then there was basically nothing in the Mountain Cave. Oh, look, we have another cave on the other side of the required big swamp over on Silverfyre's side. Oh, but before Silverfyre can get into the cave, the Droll Magi takes him down. Kaiten's still doing some farming over there by Hawk's Nest. Seems to not be a terrible place to farm, especially for mid-game.
Well, given the options, there aren't that many. And hopefully that's a little bit better. I apologize, as apparently Robo Burgundy made an appearance for a little while.
It happens. No worries.
And I do want to give credit to Future Sight here, as we've got the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave and a Dragon Scale. That'll be 2 additional defense for Silverfyre. Future Sight noting that these 2 may as well be Sideshow Bob running through or trying to navigate through a maze of rakes. Yeah.
You do that far better than I can do.
It makes sense. I mean, every time they start to navigate around, next thing you know, there's a skeleton with Hurtmore, and yeah.
You do that too well, my friend. Too well. I love it.
And wow, the wolf on Kaiten's side pulling a sleep run technique, and we want to thank the 71 of you joining us from Randomania, as we have the final of our trifecta of Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament races tonight. Sylverfyre against kaiten619, and Will asking if any player has a lead or an advantage. I would say, goodness, ever so slight, pretty much flip a coin, as Silverfyre has a little bit more of an exploration advantage, but Kaiten has the experience advantage, as Silverfyre was trying to hold on to some gold and did a lot of resetting midway through. A lot of the experience gained by both of our runners came at the hands of not 1 but 2 metal slime kills on each side.
Silverfyre does have a bit of an exploration advantage, but really what the big issue with this seed is that there is a large swamp that you have to pass through in order to get to anything useful on this side on the other side of the swamp. And as you can see with Silverfyre, they have as much HP just to get on the other side of the swamp, and then 1 more. So any preemptive attack, any attack in general, will kill Silverfyre. So this is a very slow starting seed here. Now, Kaiten has more HP, so I'm a little surprised Kaiten hasn't tried to do this same journey yet, but I think Kaiten is just working up experience, and he gets another metal slime kill. ETAP, they have 3 spells. Oh, we have a town. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
So far, the only spells learned, to answer ETAP's question, they have not learned Heal yet. All they have so far is Stop Spell, Return, and Repel. They got the Stop Spell and Return spells at level 7 and Repel at level 10.
Metal Slimes have been teasing Silverfyre all night. I'm pretty sure the count is up to 5 or 6, where Silverfyre has gotten 2 damage on a Metal Slime, only to see the Metal Slime run away. I mean, these Metal Slimes, I think my co-commentator Farron said it best, these Metal Slimes have Linguar's tongue sticking out of their mouths.
Little nod to the Dragon Warrior 4 community with that one. The Silverfyre working on the wolf and utilizing Stop Spell, knowing that it casts Sleep and did attempt to there.
Wait a minute. We have a motion for reseed. It looks like we might actually be reseeding. Maybe.
Well, Silverfyre was navigating and is continuing to.
I think he's navigating and chatting in IRC at the same time, possibly?
Yeah, this hasn't exactly been big swamp seed, but it's been medium-large swamp seed.
The swamp isn't necessarily the problem, but it's the combination of the size of the swamp as well as their rather insanely low HP values.
Yeah, the fact that at level 9, I mean, 39 hit points and, well, 19 swamp tiles to get to any kind of exploration, so you're pretty much stuck on 1 HP, and now, well, Silverfyre just continuing to try to work on some enemies there.
Well, yeah, and the fact that they have no healing spells, no healing items, no towns, no nothing.
Well, Kaiten has been holding on this red dragon screen for at least about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes now. And this is allowing Silverfyre to chip away and catch up in the experience.
And now the decision has been made to not reroll.
So, like in Wayne's World, the car has passed through and game on. Well, the red dragon was laying in wait for Kaiten, and now the inevitable has occurred, so back to the castle he goes as Silverfyre just chipping away with the little bit of HP that they have.
So really what the play here that Kaiten needs to make is to try to get northwest through that swamp. He's got the HP to make it, and he probably can get to that town. It looks like Kaiten is going to try to navigate this mountain cave in the dark.
Up to NG, you are right about that. Well, there is a town. There's a town of Hawk's Nest pretty close by. No equipment, no healing spells, as we're up to level 10 for Kaiten. And yeah, the only spells so far are Stop Spell, Return, and Repel came at level 10.
I think once Silverfyre gets to level 10, I think the HP gain from 9 to 10 is going to be enough that they're going to feel comfortable doing some more exploration.
So, Kaiten taking a death from the wizard here. And perhaps taking a pause to straighten out from a potential tilt, I would guess. But all the meanwhile, that's allowing Silver slowly but surely pick away and chip away at the experience lead. Which is now down to only about a little less than 600 experience. Oh, good guy for you. That is a great question. So what happened this seed? Well, it started off promising with the Stones of Sunlight and the Fighter's Ring in the throne room, and then our runners went outside and saw that there was a lot of swamp pretty much everywhere and extremely low hit points. So it was a bit of a swamp lock, as well as the mountain cave being pretty close by but not having anything too much of significance, as Sylverfyre now getting to level 10. Which is where Kaiten has been sitting for the better part of the last 15 minutes. So yeah, there is swamp pretty much everywhere. There have been a bunch of enemies that have been pretty troublesome, including the skeletons who have been using Hurtmore quite a bit. Also the Star Wyverns we saw with Dragon Lord Two Breath. Anything major I'm forgetting there, Z-Man?
Oh, I think you've pretty much covered it. All right, so it looks like Sylverfyre is going to be able to get to hopefully get to this town that we saw earlier. Hopefully. Or not.
Or getting ambushed by an Axe Knight. And that right there has pretty much been a microcosm of how the seed has gone for just under the last hour. Progress, and big enemy that just knocks you right on back.
Azrael, we're having a little debate over about this. To me, it looks like the Princess of Moonbrook, but some others are saying a female sage from Dragon Warrior 3.
Now, the one positive thus far has been an immense strength gain. As you can see at level 10, already 80 strength, which would be fantastic if they had some sort of weapons, but none have been accessible thus far in the only 9 treasure chests that have been explored. The 3 in the throne room, the 5 in the mountain cave, one of which had the silver harp, as well as some gold that has long since been lost, and the dragon scale and the vanilla stones of sunlight. So the little bit of boost they've gotten in attack and defense, that's pretty much all that they've gotten thus far.
Uh-oh. So that red dragon has DL2 breath.
Yep.
So much for them being a good grind enemy.
And Kaiten literally trying to take the stairs there.
Alright, here we go. Silver beelining for town. Can they get there this time?
Well, the desert tiles with the higher encounter rate certainly presenting a challenge. And Sylverfyre, why not cast Repel once more?
It's to the forest tiles. It has the town in view. Can they get there? Yes. All right. Oh, and it's Rimildar.
Oh, wow. It has been confirmed that Sylverfyre is playing as the Dragon Warrior 3 female sage sprite and is able to purchase 1 key. 1 key to rule them all.
Alright, now the question is, will the treasury have anything good?
I don't know, if I were Sylverfyre, I'd probably try to save here first, just to see what's going on, unless... Well, Eternal Newbie's got a pretty good idea. Buy 1 key, head back to the mountain cave for gold, and get more keys.
Oh, or you could set up a possible gold grind. That's possible too.
And then what? Just meander through the mountain cave, get all 5 treasure chests again, and just take your chances with whatever's in the treasury?
That's possible.
Or actually, at that point, if since 2 of those chests are gold in the mountain cave, you'd have more than enough to be able to use that key, open the Tanagal, the rear door in Tanagal, and then purchase more keys, and then take your chances with whatever's in the treasury.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that could be too. All right, so let's see what Silver's going to do here.
Meanwhile, Kaiten has navigated into the dark, mostly through the mountain cave, and has acquired the silver harp.
Oh, I see what Silver's plan was. Work up enough gold to get another key and access the back of the castle.
So we can at least see what's there. And then worry about the treasury. It looks like it's another cave.
Couldn't go north, so this could very well be Swamp North.
Two attempts at getting away from the red dragon unsuccessful. The third one unsuccessful, but I'll stop spell is successful and able to get away on the 4th try.
This is definitely Swamp North, so Sylverfyre is going through Swamp South right now, or making his way through the Swamp Cave at this point.
And successfully makes it to another part of the map, probably the 2nd continent.
Oh, at least somewhere where there isn't a ton of swamp.
Oh, how many more places could there be?
That's a good point.
So Sylverfyre trying to explore the new and uncharted land here, and oh, a blue dragon able to get away.
Oh, now
look, swamp.
That's a tease game. All right, gets in there. Cole. Oh man, if this is Erdrick's armor, this could be game, set, match for Sylverfyre.
Well, let's see here. Heading up to the 4 spots south of the baths. And it's Erdrick's armor!
Well, swamp no more.
High risk, high reward for Sylverfyre, and now each step that Sylverfyre takes, they'll be able to recover 1 hit point towards their maximum. And that negates the swamp damage, so that is no longer an issue.
Sylverfyre seeing another town across the channel. I'm guessing that is north of wherever the heck Sylverfyre found Rimuldar.
And on top of it, that armor, well, it adds another 24 to the defense total, so already you can see 61 on the defense. So now a lot of the enemies not able to cause too much trouble, and why not? Let's see what we've got here. No need to buy any clothes here. You've already got the best armor in the game there, Sylverfyre, but why not get a club? Add another 4 to your attack power.
Hey, why not? I can bash enemies a little more effectively.
I think Mr. Holmes saying it best in chat, this is a nightmare. Azrael, we do have Repel, but at level 10, the only spells thus far, Repel was acquired at level 10, but otherwise, Stop Spell and Return, the only spells that have been acquired thus far. So, the remaining 7 spells are going to come sometime in the next 6 levels. And Sports Hefe noting that That town that was visible south of Cole, that was Hawk's Nest.
Of course it is, because, yeah.
And Mr. Holmes noting that this may be a seed where you have to stay near home and pound wolves and skeletons. The challenge with that has been the skeletons have been casting Hurtmore quite a bit, and the wolves have been casting Sleep even more than quite a bit. So, certainly could use Stop Spell a lot, but well, it's hard to say. Now things starting to break open just a bit, and Sylverfyre is now less than 100, or about 100 experience away, 100 and change away from catching up to Titan in the experience department. So the huge advantage now to Sylverfyre as we are 65 minutes into this seed.
And it looks like Silver has found a decent area to grind some of those mid-game enemies like Spectres. And now, Azrael, they're still unknown as to whether there's a true gold grind available, but I think Silver's going to set it up now here in the mountain cave, if there is one available.
So let's see, is the metal slime to be a tease here? Well, so far 1 hit point, 2 hit points, and he gets the 3.
And for the first time in this race, Sylverfyre has taken the experience lead.
And let's see, we've got Sleep, and I believe that was Radiant.
Yep, Sleep and Radiant.
Huge advantage here for Sylverfyre. Now not only the experience edge, but acquiring Erdrick's sword, plus having the key. So, Titan gonna have some work to do. As it's now, I believe, 3 metal slimes apiece they've taken out?
Yeah, 3 apiece. Mr. Holmes, there are metal slimes all over the place in this seed. They're they're fairly common, all things considered, in this seed.
So at this point, with the armor ice blue or X ice blue was in the search spot in Cole.
It's in the search spot in Cole, which is on the second continent, which you have to get through from under Tantagil, but in order to get under Tantagil, you have to get the key from Rimeldar, which is on the other side of 2 rather large swamps.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's it. And I think this is the enemy Sylverfyre is looking for to send him back to start.
I believe so. I think as far as the path to get to Erdrick's armor, it was easier to find Jericho and Detroit Become Human.
Unless, of course, all this Red Dragon wants to do is cast Stop Spell, and Sylverfyre winds up killing it, which isn't necessarily such a bad thing, but still. Oh, there we go. Oh, not quite. There we go.
That'll do.
Mr. Holmes, yes, we do know that there is only one path to go in this seed. One path and only one path. Alright, so let's see. What do we have here in... Yeah. Oh, he's going to get keys first.
Go get more keys. Very good. Yeah, you certainly have the money to do it. as Kaiten falls to the Hawksness Guardian Golem once again.
Alright, so let's see what we get here. So the first thing is bamboo pole, which we know it's not the bamboo pole. Wings. So we have wings. Token! We have Erdrick's token. We have a gold for gold grind.
Let's just hope in the excitement of the gold grind that sylverfyre doesn't forget to check that upper left chest. That would certainly be a bugger if it was something like Erdrick's sword and they passed it up.
Yeah, I mean, really the only two things in chests now that sylverfyre is looking for is the Erdrick's sword and maybe the death necklace. Maybe.
The way these hit points have rolled, I don't know about that. Although Kate's doing something interesting here, utilizing the silver harp to try to generate some enemies that might be a bit more favorable.
Night Wolf 16. This looks like a fun seed. I question your definition of fun. Hitaka, what does the death necklace do in rando? It increases, oh look, more gold. It increases your attack power by 10 at the cost of 25% of your HP.
So now sylverfyre saving with a whole bunch of gold, and no Wolfman 2000, the upper left chest was more gold, so 2 potential gold chests for gold grinds. Leads me to wonder when we're going to see the seed where all 4 treasury chests are gold.
Well, we've seen a seed where all 3 throne room chests were keys, so you figure it happened at some point.
Oh, don't I know it? I called that last night, in fact. Still kind of shocked by that.
Alright, so it looks like sylverfyre is booking it toward... Is that coal?
Well, I believe that they saw that the silver shield was in coal.
And if a flame sword is there too, then man, silver is set up well.
Well, Kaiten using the sleep spell on the golem and getting just marginal success. But it wakes up and takes Kaiten out.
Flame sword. Silver shield.
Oh, that explains it. So now the second best weapon in the game, the best armor in the game, and the best shield in the game. This is going to set sylverfyre up very nicely. As you see already, the defensive points right ideally where sylverfyre wants to be, as most of the enemies are going to cause not a whole lot of damage, although given the percentage of hit points, it's still pretty significant. But the fact that you have a large majority of the enemies that will only attack for, at most, 15 hit points, that is certainly relieving.
So really what sylverfyre is looking for now, they're looking for Sharlock. They're looking for... I don't think we've seen the silver harp cave. And have we seen the junk?
Yes, that the the Rainbow Drop Cave, I believe that was the cave just northwest of Tanagal.
Okay, okay. So really what Silver's looking for now is the Silver Harp Cave and Charlock.
Yeah, the Staff of Rain Cave, Charlock, and I think that's about it. So that means we know that, well, at best, the golem that Kaiten has been working on in Hawk's Nest is guarding the fairy flute, and at worst, it's guarding nothing.
Yep. Oh, and look, Sylverfyre finding a bi-state area.
So this is where all the towns are hiding.
Holy cow! Ladies and gentlemen in chat, I want to see Kappa. I want to see a lot of Kappa in chat right now.
That is unbelievable. So Sylverfyre, just for curiosity, kicks and giggles, I suppose, taking a look to see if there's an overworld item.
And there is, and it's perfectly countable.
21 south and 6 east.
And so that means that Golem is guarding nothing. Alright, so this is Garenham. We already found everybody's favorite town, Breckenridge.
It must have happened so quickly that Sylverfyre must have gone in and gone right back out, because I missed it.
Yeah, it's the first town there in that whole area. Oh, it looks like it's Kaiten finally getting to the right area.
So the 3 chests look to be the Death Necklace, the Magic Key, and the Fairy Water. I don't think Death Necklace coming into play at this seed. And there is the Staff of Rain Cave, so that Silver Harp's going to get traded in.
Yep, so we have the Staff of Rain, and Silver's immediately booking it over to the Jerk Cave. So, actually, Breckenridge, the wonderful, ever so exciting town that it is, will actually serve a purpose here, because I'm wondering if Sylverfyre might actually do a grind in Charlock and use the 6 gold in Breckenridge for. Azrael, sword is not confirmed in Charlock. We have not seen the Grave of Garen.
Excellent.
No, we don't know Swamp Spike.
I'm trying to recall what we missed here. We didn't see the Tablet Cave yet, did we?
Oh, good point. I don't think we have. Oh, I think Kaiten found his way through.
Oh, and a Stone Man looks to be the Swamp Spike. So is Sylverfyre going to rescue the princess just out of... Nope, okay.
No, I think he was just checking the trap tile. They were just checking the trap tile.
And Sylverfyre figured, alright, well, while I'm here, I may as well just go after it and attack and see what kind of luck I can have with it, and sure enough, they were able to take it out.
Kaiten, meanwhile, having some luck with the metal slime. Does Kaiten get a 4th kill? Command, command, command.
Well,
oh my
how
god,
about
he did
that?
it.
This card would be proud.
And we have synced metal slime fights. And we have found the tablet cave, which it looks like Silver wants no part of. Either that or they already explored it earlier and we missed it. Alright, so this has got to be the grave. By process of elimination.
And it is.
Alright, Kaiten is slowly starting to come around to where he needs to go. No, not north, not north! No, go south, please go south! It's the wrong south. Sylverfyre is just getting besieged by enemies in this cave.
Perhaps that's a sign, but we'll see here. So we've got some big bucks, an empty chest, and a torch. I didn't see if Sylverfyre had maxed out keys or herbs, but we've got level 12, no power, 12 speed, 1 hit point, 6 magic points, and hurt.
All the big spells are hiding. So to answer Maki Eye's question in chat, how many levels does Sylverfyre need? Well, see, if you take a look at the numbers under Sylverfyre's name, you see a bunch of levels, you see a bunch of numbers in white, you see some numbers in orange, and some numbers in green. The green numbers mean that those stats are good to go for the Dragon Lord fight. The orange numbers mean that those stats are borderline for a Dragon Lord fight. The white means you're not even close. So, basically right now, what looks to be the limiting stat for Sylverfyre is HP. Once Sylverfyre gets to 97 HP, which is the bare minimum for Dragon Lord, chances are the levels are going to be high enough to actually kill the Dragon Lord.
But still, kind of quietly creeping up is Sylverfyre with that defense as Kaiten taking out another metal slime. So here's Rimmildar.
Kaiten, go get keys. Yes, go get keys. You have enough money, go get a key. Thank you.
Your power of suggestion, Z-Man, is impeccable.
It actually works this time. You know, it's actually kind of working in this tournament. So, if this chest that Sylverfyre is about to pick up is not the Erdrick Sword... Well, it is official. We have Erdrick Sword guaranteed to be in Charlotte Castle.
Isn't there still one more chest in the grave?
Oh, I guess Sylverfyre did not check the tablet cave, did they?
Well, chest to go. But this is Erdrick's sword.
Oh, you're right. I did forget about that other chest. I did forget. My bad.
Plus, I wonder, in Sylverfyre's trek into Rimeldar, did they ever check the chest in there?
Ooh, that's a good point. I'm not sure they did.
I believe at the time that they got there, they were only able to afford one key. So how interesting would that be? Oh, just short by one. How interesting would it be if Erdrick's sword was sitting in that chest that they had encountered in Rimeldar, what, some 45 minutes ago now?
It's also going to be interesting in that the Erdrick sword might not be needed. I mean, if you take a look at Sylverfyre's strength, I mean, 18 more strength, and you don't even need Erdrick's sword. So it's entirely possible that maybe Silver just kind of assumes, you know what? I don't need Erdrick's sword.
It isn't required, it's just pretty commonly allowed, and Kaiten finally getting a weapon, so another 2 attack power with the bamboo pole. And just enough to stay at the end.
And it wouldn't surprise me then to see Kaiten work out, do a little mini grind here to get enough gold to buy a couple extra keys.
Especially now with replenished stats. And a metal slime kill on Sylverfyre's side, and that's going to get them to level 13. 7, 8, 11, 7, and let's see what spell or spells we have here. There's Hurtmore. So for the second time tonight, there is at least a level 14 for any heal spell. Or at least the second time in the last couple of nights. The tournaments are starting to come together in my head because of the numerous matches.
So Kaiten picks up the gold from the treasury and has to walk back now to Rimeldar to go get more keys.
And an excellent move on Sylverfyre's part, and that's going to be a 5th metal slime taken out in this race.
JJ,
well, 5 for Sylverfyre and another 4 for Kaiten.
JJS, what's the Hawksness boss? That was a golem. So I think Kaiten temporarily forgetting. He forgot that he hasn't found the Silver Harp Cave yet. Maki I asks, what do metal slimes do? Metal slimes are one of 2 bosses in the game that, one or 2 enemies, one of 2 enemies in the game that yield 255 experience when killed, max experience. The thing with metal slimes is that they only have 4 HP, but they have a tremendously high defense. So, they only take 3 hits to die, but landing those 3 hits is interesting at best sometimes.
Okay, and the number 3 kind of centering around a lot of things is there are 3 enemies that have that max experience, the red dragon, the golem, and the metal slime, and only 3 hit points for the metal slime, so 3 hits. Usually, although Sylverfyre creeping up toward that attack power where you can theoretically start to do more than 1 hit point of damage, or at least guarantee 1 hit point of damage each time. Another 9 attack power will do that.
Nightwolf asks, so what happened that Kaiten is so far behind Silver? There was only one path through the beginning of the game, and it took Kaiten a while to find it. And at some point, both Silverfyre and Kaiten were talking about a possible reroll. And immediately after that, I think Kaiten got a little tilted and didn't do all the exploration he needed to do and missed the path to get where he needed to go. And that ultimately is what's put Kaiten so far behind.
So now maxing out on keys is Kaiten. And oh look, another metal slime.
So now Kaiten's going to check and see, oh look, flame sword, silver shield. So now I wonder if Kaiten thinks, okay, let's go get gold grind set up using the mountain cave. Let's see if Kaiten actually checks this chest in Rimmildar. It looks like he might, possibly. He's going to use the inn first.
Hungry inputs are hungry. And even the non-playable character was trying to coerce Kaiten into staying, but opting to leave and not yet checking that chest.
So it is entirely possible that that chest does have Erdrick's sword.
The only overworld chests that we haven't seen opened yet were the one in Rimmildar, and we may have missed the tablet cave being opened. I don't know if Sylverfyre had encountered it at some point.
Ooh, Kaiten with the miss menu and just goes right past the stairs. Looks like Silver is taking advantage of that red dragon that has a 75% stop spell rate.
And is able to take it out for the max experience and is just 25 away from getting to level 14.
So if it wasn't for his HP being so terrible, they might consider going to Dragon Lord at level 14 given their strength. And NP's still a little low.
And the lack of a heal more spell.
Alright, now you're getting picky.
Yeah, as hard as the Dragon Lord hits, you might want to have something to heal.
And Tablet Cave looks to have either an herb or a magic key, one of the two. I believe that there are 7? Yes, there are 7 chests in Sherlock, and 1 in Rimmildar we have not yet checked. So there is an 87.5% chance that the sword is in Sherlock.
Oh, the odds. And Silverfyre is going to play those odds and utilize the rainbow drop to create the bridge into Charlotte Castle. And Azrael Ravenheart noting in chat that this feels like a Rimmel sword scene.
I can't really disagree with that feeling. If it's not a Rimmel sword seed, then it's gotta be a vanilla sword seed, right?
That would be my guess. And finally, the spell of heal at 14, but still no heal more.
Speaking of heal, Armored Knights have heal.
Indeed they do. And they cast it a lot.
Command, attack. And he hits again! What is this madness? And now Kaiten is like, wait, what? I can imagine the words coming out of Kaiten's mouth right at this point in time. So one number I want you to kind of pay attention to right now is Silverfyre's agility, which is 101. This gives Silverfyre a rather substantial chance at running from enemies like Armored Knights and Red Dragons. Like to the point where it's almost 50-50 for both of them, if not greater than 50-50.
And Kaiten getting up to level 12.
Will Wagner music. This seed has been rough. The seed has been very rough.
And yes, Future Sight, there are definitely a lot of things that can be said about this seed, but not on a stream such as this. Keep them internal.
So something that just hit me as we're looking at all this, the Death Necklace is probably not in play in any way, shape, or form. Because this is one of those seeds that you can easily soft lock yourself. Why is this? Well, you'll see, here's the thing. Death Necklace means you can't enter Tantagel. In order to get to Breckenary, where you can lift curses, or Charlock, or anywhere, you have to go through Charlock Castle to get to the Swamp Cave. If you're wearing the Death Necklace, you can't get into Tantagel, thus you cannot get into the Swamp Cave. Thus, you soft block yourself if you die to the Dragon Lord with the Death Necklace on.
Except I think at this point you'd have to get to level 28 or 29 to get to a potential Death Necklace usable amount.
Yeah, unless they get 50 HP in the next 2 levels, it's not happening. But it is interesting to note that this is a soft lockable seed. All right, let's see what 15 gives Silverfyre.
3 power, 5 speed, 3 hit points, 5 magic points, and there's Heal More at 15. And I believe also Outside was acquired.
Sylverfyre slowly creeping up on the bottom floor where the Erdrick sword may be. So let's take a guess. Let's assume. All right, so we have 8 locations coming up soon here. We have Rimeldar chest, we have the vanilla Erdrick sword chest, and we have the 6 chests in the bottom of Charlotte Castle. Okay, chat, where do you think Erdrick sword is? Which chest in the basement, or is it vanilla, or is it in Rimeldar? Put your guesses in chat. The winner of the guessing will win a whole bunch of pride that they can wear the rest of the day.
Well, interestingly enough, it looks as though Sylverfyre is taking the trek first to the vanilla chest. Perhaps anticipating the trollage early.
Rocky, you haven't even played this game. Well, welcome to your Dragon Warrior introduction. I hope Farron and I have really done you well and hopefully piqued your interest in this game. The sword is not vanilla.
We just have some money. So now, Kaiten debating, trying to use the man as a door, but now has acquired the rainbow drop. Is just double checking. And Nightwolf noting the strong possibility that Kaiten may be just a little bit askew, we'll put it that way, in terms of emotion. As Sylverfyre now taking out the werewolf, just fighting their way down. And now let's take a look as we've got the 6 chests momentarily here. As Kaiten now heading back through the swamp cave, and Sylverfyre having to take on another werewolf.
Alright, so let's see. Do we have the Rimmel sword? Or is it here in the treasury? Let's find out. We have an herb. Nothing. A key to replace the key he just used. And there is the sword. Middle row, far left. I think I saw somebody guess that.
Well, so much for the ever-trolly Rimmel sword.
Oh,
and Mr.
Will,
Holmes
so
saying
close.
it best, always middle left except when it's not.
Will guessed middle right. He was the only one to guess the middle row, so he's close. So let's go ahead. Will, you get your pride for the day. Wear it nicely. And incoming... I'm surprised we didn't see Link to several, like, circle turns there. Alright, so what is sylverfyre's current HP, or MP? 19. Okay, so this is just a recon dive at this point. sylverfyre's going to go see what the mini-boss is.
And making note in chat here that Beta Strep, I did go back and check, Beta was right on the money, guessing far left middle. So Beta Strep's the one who gets the pride, and throwing the pride kappa out there for Beta.
And it looks like, oh, I was going to say, might look like Kaiten is going straight into Sherlock.
Meanwhile, to 16 we go. 9 power, 1 response speed, 6 hit points, and 4 magic points.
So that's a big nope.
I mean, the attack power is well up there, and so is the defense, but that hit points, them hit points are low, and those magic points aren't exactly plentiful.
Yeah, once sylverfyre gets to that magic 97 HP number, that Dragon Lord is going to feel some pain. Just got to get to that 97 number, though.
sylverfyre doing a good job. Oh my goodness, smashing that blue dragon into 149 pieces.
Will Cleosis wins the Understatement of the Stream Award, saying, "This is a rough seed."
Rough indeed. So it looks like sylverfyre is making the trek down. Is going to fight their way to 17. I mean, at this point, why not? They're damage breaking almost every enemy. The only ones that they aren't are the Red Dragon, the Golem, and the Armored Knight. Every other enemy will at most hit them for 17 hit points.
Yeah, this is... sylverfyre's in a really nice spot here with everything but their HP.
And how quickly they're just mowing down these various dragons and just getting more and more experiences. Now not even 1,000 away from level 17. And Maki, the issue is that they're going to need those hit points because even with that high defense that sylverfyre has, Dragon Lord 2 does have that Dragon Lord breath, which normally does between 64 and 72 hit points of damage, although with the Erdrick's armor, that negates it by a third, so it's a 42 to 48 range. So ideally, you want to have 97 hit points to be able to withstand 2 max Dragonlord 2-breath attacks and still have 1 hit point left to survive.
Right, the 97 HP guarantees that you can attack, and then heal, and then attack, and then heal. Just, you basically trade blows with the Dragonlord, healing every other turn. If you're anywhere below that, you run the risk of having to heal every turn just to stay alive.
Oh no! Sylverfyre took a gamble attacking with only 22 hit points, and the Armored Knight attacked and hit for exactly 22.
Well, that is unfortunate. So Kaiten finds the fairy flute. I wonder if Kaiten is setting up a golem grind.
So at this point, it's definitely a matter of getting to level 17 and Sylverfyre using the fairy water.
We've seen weirder things this seed, Azrael. As Azrael suggests, copper sword golem grind? Well, we've seen weirder things. It is so satisfying to see a blue dragon hit for 7.
Yeah, definitely something you don't often see, as the blue dragons, well, you need a minimum of 98 defense points to change the calculations on how the attack range goes. So that's what the concept of damage breaking is when your defense is equal to or greater than the enemy's strength. So in this case, for the blue dragon, for example, because that damage break has occurred, based on the new calculations, the most the blue dragon will hit for is 17, and the lowest it can hit for is 0. And here comes level 17 with 6 power, 4 response speed, 2 hit points, and 2 magic points. Are we going to 18?
Well, the good news is that Armored Knights are now defense broken.
So yes, now the Armored Knight, the most they can hit for is 18. But they can also hit for 0. Or so I thought. I'll have to recheck my calculations on that, as I thought that the Armored Knights were damage broken.
So it'll be interesting to see here what Sylverfyre decides to do. Is Silver gonna grind another level? Or are they just gonna go straight down? Given how much Sylverfyre is trying to run, I'm wondering if they're actually going to give Dragonlord a shot here.
And just go for it at 17? Well, you figure with that 155 attack power, that means that Silverfyre on that Dragon Lord 2 is going to do a damage range of 13 to 27 with each attack.
So that's an average of 20. So that means 8 or 9 attacks. Well, 8 attacks should kill it.
And pending no additional uses of MP, there's 10 heal mores. But you have to figure there may be fewer attacks in there because there may have to be some double heal mores. Pretty much if you go for it now, you're banking on the Dragon Lord doing more attacking than Dragon Lord Breath. Well, I hope it isn't the case, the point that Eternal Newbie is making in chat, but it almost seems like the way that this seed has gone, and considering the discussion earlier on of a possible reroll, maybe about an hour ago, that Kaiten is just kind of going through the motions and waiting for the dot done from Silverfyre just to throw in the forfeit and throw in the towel.
Juice in chat asks what's up the big level gap between these two. Basically what it comes down to is Silverfyre found the one path through the big swamps much earlier in this seed that Kaiten did. And on top of it, once Silverfyre found the correct path through the swamps, they found the correct path to Erdrick's armor a lot more efficiently. So, yeah.
Silverfyre beelining it down to the last basement of Sharlock. Now, should they be thinking about going to level 18, or at least contemplating it, it's the target number of 14,250, which is just 1,080 experience away. Which is 6 blue dragons, now 5.
I mean, personally, I would, because you are defense-breaking blue dragons here. And with Erdrick's armor, you heal up to that maximum HP soon. So if you get that, even 4 HP should give Silverfyre enough ammo to beat the Dragon Lord.
Well, with the majority of the enemies being minimal trouble, I mean, you see the werewolf there hitting for 3 and 7. It looks like this isn't that far of a grind, and really you're going to take care of most of it along the way and run away from the enemies that you know you haven't damage broken, in this case, the golem, and maybe an armored knight if you run into that, although it should be right around that point. And oh yeah, Star Wyverns with Dragon Lord breath.
Have we seen that before? I don't recall seeing that, even on Kaiten's side.
I think we saw it pretty early on as both of our runners were dying to close to everything.
Okay.
And Future Sight, that is correct, that Silverfyre may not know that they're way ahead, but generally the mindset when you're in one of these races is even when you're ahead, you think you're behind.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, as Azrael just points out in chat, I think Silverfyre is very cognizant of the fact that a strength HP build likely goes to Dragon Lord at level 15 or 16 at most. So Silverfyre knows that they are behind as far as the levels go. At least in their mind.
And JJ Schmidt pointing out as we cross the 2-hour mark of this seed, and we are past the midnight point here on the East Coast. So happy Friday, everybody. 2 hours in, nobody thinks that they're ahead when it comes to something along these lines here.
All right, so let's see what we have here at level 18. And good night, sweet prince. This Dragon Lord is gonna feel pain.
Well, 18's definitely gonna do it. 163 attack power. So you're looking at an attack range of 15 to 31 on the second form of Dragon Lord. As now Kaiten getting up to level 13.
I want to see a 30 or a 31. Come on, game, give me a 30 or a 31.
Oh, there.
Game, you're not playing nice here, game.
Low rolls to start.
Very. $29, so close. This is ridiculously low RNG.
$137. Now adding to that another 17 to 154. The next attack should do it.
There it is. There's the 31. I like that.
Oh, that's just kind of the exclamation point on the seed here. But still, 9 attacks and 6 of them under 20. So there it is. Get out your GGs in chat for Sylverfyre, who's going to finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 19 seconds to take first place in this race. And as somewhat anticipated, there is the forfeit from Kaiten almost immediately upon seeing the dot done.
Hello.
And we have Sylverfyre in chat with us. Sylverfyre, GG on a redonkulous seed.
Yeah, redonkulous is right.
That one path through the 2 swamps. I don't know what to say to that. That was crazy.
And also the fact that we were I think I was level 10 and I was getting through that second swamp with 1 HP remaining to do some actual exploring.
And we also have Kaiten joining us. Kaiten, I don't know what else to say, but man, I feel for you. That was one heck of a seed.
Did Kaiten, did you break out of the nonsense or rather, when did you break out of the nonsense? I imagine you have to have broken out of it by now. We can't hear you. At least I can't hear you.
I see Kaiten lighting up green, but no sound is coming through. I can answer that for you, Silver, until we get Kaiten back. I think Kaiten broke through about half an hour ago, finally.
Okay. Yeah, I made that one ridiculous walk, and I saw the town, and I'm like, I have to get back there. But I have a propensity for like suicidal exploration like that, so I guess it paid off this time.
Yeah, going back and looking at the statistics, level 10 there, as you had mentioned, sylverfyre, you only had 49 hit points, so yeah, it was just once you hit the majority of
I think I had a little less because I was the agility build. Did you account for that?
You know what it was? Maybe you were at level 9 because you only had 39 hit points at level 9, and then you got the boost at 10.
Yeah, there's a boost at 10, and then I'm like, oh, I have more than 1 HP. When I get through the thing, I can do something over there. That's when I finally made it through.
Yeah, 19 swamp tiles, leaving you with 1 hit point, and then, oh hi, there's a skeleton, and oh hi skeleton, you have hurt more. It just seemed that was the.
I died to like a metal slime once.
Just once?
Well, I died to a couple different, 2 or 3 different things doing 1 damage. I don't remember what they are.
So, you and metal slimes in this seed. At some point, you had to want to strangle them because I lost count at 7 metal slimes that you did 2 damage to until they ran.
Oh, I wasn't counting the ones that I did 2 damage to. At some point, I was like, you know what? You're not worth my time. I'm not even fighting you. But, yeah, there was actually a point where I was considering putting on the death necklace because I would have been able to one-shot metal slimes. But the problem with that is in the seed with Breckenary on the other side of a locked door, that means if I ever die, I'm soft. And I have to go back to last save.
Right. Do we have you now, Kaiten? Again, I'm seeing your thing light up green, but I'm not hearing anything, unfortunately.
Metal slimes are actually not tougher to... Question in chat. Metal slimes are not tougher to run from than anyone. That prize goes to red dragons. Because weaker enemies in this game have like even though metal slimes have the most agility in the game, the weaker enemies in the game have a fraction applied to their agility to determine how hard it is for them to run away.
So how nice was it to see that Erdrick's armor?
I was making some very happy expressions on my camera since Mike was muted, but I was just like, suddenly it's all over. This seed is going to die now. And also then the shop had like a silver shield and a flame sword, and I'm like, okay, I got it. I can set up the grind. I have everything I need. I was even considering going without the Erdrick sword because of how much strength we had. The reason I went for it mostly was just that it's like I might as well because I need to grind anyway. I don't have max HP.
So I have to ask you, and maybe I missed it, maybe Furon and I both missed it, because no, Kaiten didn't. Did you check the chest in Rimeldar?
No, I didn't. I never went back there. You know why I didn't go back there? Because heck going back there. I only had enough money for 1 key when I finally made it to Rimeldar.
That's what I thought, and then you ended up going back to Tanagel and used that to purchase more keys, and
exactly.
Off to the races from there, so there was really no need to go all the way back to Rimeldar.
Yeah, and I think it's like at that point I already, like, the treasury had the token, that was the last key item I needed. if the sword happened to be in Rimmildar, I wasn't worried. I was just going to kill Dragon Lord with a flame sword.
Yeah, and especially with that last level that you got, my goodness. I mean,
I was considering not going for that level and just being like, I have 90 hit points, and you know what? I think I do so much damage here that I can just eat the fact that sometimes I'll have to heal more twice in a row without taking a real turn. And when you're doing as much damage as you do with 140 strength, you can suck.
And then you got a bunch of strength, and
then I got a bunch of strength and a bunch of HP, and I'm like, well, let's finish this.
And
the only reason I got that level is because I had Blue Dragon's defense broken.
Yeah. And then, of course, you get to the Dragon Lord with 163 attack power. You're doing so much damage, and you consistently low roll every single time.
I know, right? It's like I didn't do the math, but I'm pretty sure this is the bottom end of my damage range.
You were 15 to 31, and I'm looking here at the numbers. You had 17, 16. Then you had a 29, but then 18, 24, 17, and finally a 31 to cap it off as an exclamation point.
Yeah. I was only kind of counting. I was like at 90 with like 6 hits, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Just kill the stupid Dragon Lord and be done with it.
Yeah, 9 attacks, and 6 of them were 18 or lower, and with the bottom of your range being 15, yeah, those are ridiculously below average.
Normally 15 is like the top of your range, so like I'm not usually very bothered by seeing 15s on the Dragon Lord.
I hated this map.
Hey, Kaiten, we have you.
Hey, you're here. Yeah, that's about accurate.
Why did it have to be superior swamps in every corner?
I know, right? It wasn't even just the one corner that finally led to Rimmildar that was blocked off by swamps. Literally every direction we could go in was like, okay, I've got to cross this swamp, and I'll have like 2 health when I get over there, or 1 health.
I also even complicated. Do I really have to grind on the science to get my heal more spell or something to keep me alive?
Did you even get a heal spell yet?
I only had none. I kept getting hurt.
Okay, yeah. I guess it was 14 then was heal. And then, heal more.
Yep, heal at 14, heal more at 15.
Oh, why?
I also did the rare, unlocking the door in coal so that I could buy herbs in coal. I mean, you don't need to unlock that door, but it's like, I'm unlocking this door because it's slightly fast.
I don't blame you there one bit, man. I do not.
This seed, I mean, do either one of you have any, like, ritual seed file burning or anything that you're going to do after this one?
I just want to say that I didn't generate the seed this time. This is a seed that I would generate, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, so anybody here that is familiar with me dealing Zelda 1 randomizer is probably not going to be surprised when I say that I dealt this seed, and I'm sorry.
Z-Man, I've seen worse. Don't let Czar do it.
Did I feel behind at the end, knowing that strength HP could have gone 2 levels earlier? Not really, because I knew that this seed had at least plus or minus 30 minutes swing at the beginning of it, and I felt really good about when I found Rimmildar, given how hard it was to find. And I knew that I was gaining XP at a terrifyingly good rate because I had Blue Dragon's defense broken. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to spend, I'm spending 5 extra minutes gaining XP. at that point, I felt like 5 minutes was pretty much a wash, and that wouldn't have been what decided the race.
For some odd reason, this seat gave me more metal
There's
sliders
a
than
question
usual.
in chat here from Upton.
I'm pretty sure it was
curious
two.
about the reseed discussions that allegedly were going on about it.
Yeah, so we discussed briefly whether we were gonna reseed, and like at that time it was like probably neither of us had gotten through even gotten through that big swamp that eventually led to Rimeldar. I was like offering it, but then once I thought about my schedule for the rest of the week, I literally have no other day that I could have played a tournament match before the deadline.
Yeah,
So,
I don't blame you there, man. Because like I was looking at my schedule, I only had like 2 days in this week coming up already. So I'm like, I can't risk rescheduling the match either.
yeah, like I thought about the discussions we had and what days you had off. I was doing this while repeatedly dying to various things. So
Hashtag I hate dragons.
I don't know, there was one point that I punched a red dragon to death before having any kind of healing.
I kept getting
casting stop spell.
I kept getting wombo comboed by my physical damage from them.
Yeah, they were nasty.
A question that I had, curiously, for Sylverfyre, there was a point roughly about 20 minutes into the seed where on 3 different occasions you had gone from level 6 to level 7 thanks to resets. Were you thinking about just holding on to gold to...
I wanted to, yeah, exactly. I wanted to make sure that if I found Rimeldar, I would have enough money to buy keys. And then eventually I just kind of gave up on trying to hold on to that money because I realized it, like, at that point I had, like, gotten through all of the swamps that I could get through with that amount of HP. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna grind on wolves and Magidrakes and stuff, and if I have more than 53 gold, then I will go explore.
It just threw me for a little bit of a loop. I was also trying to keep track of when each of you get to certain levels. Like, all right,
I was like, I actually went through that thought process of like, I feel really bad for whoever's tracking this right now because I've gotten back and forth 3 times.
It made for a little entertainment of the commentary. You're like, all right, well, here it is about, 14 minutes in. Okay, nope, back to 6. All right, and, well, here we go at about 18. No, all right. And then finally, all right, how about here at 23:10? Okay, we're sticking at level 7. Good. On we go.
But the HP gains were ridiculous at the beginning, though. Like, I couldn't get nothing out of it.
There was like, yeah, I think 7 and 8 both had 0 HP.
Yeah, it did. I was like, what is going on?
It was like particularly awful because it's like, okay, I learned a spell. Is it heal? No. It's not even hurt. And then dying in front of the town was the worst part.
Oh, I feel you there.
I had the town on screen, and then I took 1 damage. And then I think I grinded up like 1 more level because I'm like, okay, if I have like at least enough HP that I can survive a 1 hit point poke from a slime. I'm pretty sure I died to a regular blue slime at that point. On the other side of that swamp.
And no way to heal.
And no way to heal.
I hated those wolves in the beginning. I kept getting slept in wombo
The worst,
comboed.
I started doing them when I had stop spell, and like they would resist it sometimes, and I'm like, why do wills have stop spell resistance? I didn't think they had stop spell resistance, but I guess they can have a little bit of it.
Probably that 1 in a million shot they had it.
Yeah.
Which enemy was it with the soft spell resistance?
Wolves, and they would sleep you. So it's like, resist the stop spell, sleep. Oh, I'm gonna die now. Even if I don't die, I'm gonna be at like 9 hit points, and I can't heal without dying. So,
Actually, Wolves
Ali
had a
Gerbrat, that's not...
0 to 16 resistance, so stop spell should have hit every time.
I definitely had it resist. Oh, no, it wasn't wolves, it was skeletons. Skeletons with their stupid...
And I had to deal with the golems. I couldn't put them to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I do see here skeletons did have a 3 out of 16 resistance to stop spell.
Gotcha. And yeah, Ali Gerbrat, because different enemies than vanilla can have spells. Like in the base game, most enemies that don't have spells just have 15 out of 16 chance to resist stop spell, because they don't have any spells anyway, so it doesn't matter, but that's changed in the randomizer because they could have spells, and therefore they should be silenceable. But most weak enemies, I think, cap out at 4 out of 16. And then stronger enemies can cap out higher. Yes, exactly. What Up to NG said. Alright, I want to go to bed.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. It's still like afternoon here in the Philippines, so I'm like wiped out right now.
Well, thank you, Sylverfyre and Kaiten, for coming in after this hellacious seed. Well played, both of you. I mean, this was just pure torture, and the fact that Silver, you finished it in the time you did, and Kaiten, you got as far as you did, both testaments to the way you guys played. Very nicely done.
Thank you. And good race, Kaiten. Sorry, you had to forfeit, and sorry you had to put up with this nonsense of a seed. I motion to ban Z-Man from generating seeds.
I beg to differ on that because I rather ban Czar over Z-Man any day.
Well, I don't think Zar's Delta DDR.
Alright, good night.
Good night. Thoron, why don't you, what do we have coming up with this Dragon Warrior tournament coming up?
Oh goodness! Well, we are just a mere 9.5 hours away, and that's another good reason to wrap this up. As you'll be moving from the commentary booth to the competition booth, as you'll be taking on in a mutually agreed upon rematch against Sparkover, as there were technical issues that prevented Sparkover from continuing, and as you had mentioned in chat, that you didn't feel it right to win that way, so you want to make sure that things are fair and square. So you both agreed to the reschedule, and that'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern, just 9.5 hours from now. And then tomorrow night, we've got another trifecta here, as at 8 o'clock Eastern, you have Dataplet against JJ Schmidt 77. 1 hour later at 9 p.m., it's Labkian against Synthpop is Back. And the nightcap at 11 p.m., just a mere 22.5 hours from now, is McGrew against Bent Glass Tube. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff coming over the weekend, but it's late. We'll talk about that later. I want to thank all the folks behind the scenes here, including Yoneman for doing the restreaming, as well as Ali Gerbrat for the... Yes, Sparkover, we're less than 10 hours away from the next race. How about that? Ali Gerbrat for doing the... I'm sorry. A little bit of technical issues there. That is correct. Ali Gerbrat with the tracking. Getting my trackers mixed up here as we've had so many races going on here. And Z-Man... great commentating with you as always. It's always an adventure whenever these seeds come up here.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed commentating this with you, and hopefully we get another one coming up pretty soon.
Most certainly. Plenty of action coming your way here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. And for everybody behind the scenes, make sure to give the runners as well as the folks behind the scenes a follow. I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.
Good night.